Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Thanks so much for coming in tonight, guys. Thanks replay viewers for joining me, and thanks YouTube viewers for popping in here. If you'd like to join in the live chat down here, just join me on Periscope. I'm here every night at 9:30 p.m. Central. Just search for Penguin and Fish. Alright guys, it's New Block Thursday. We're starting Block 74. So I'm going to flip you around and we'll get started. Hey guys, happy Thursday. Thanks so much for coming in tonight, everyone. It's New Block Thursday for the Splendid Sampler quilt along. You can go to the Splendid Sampler and get the free pattern. It'll be free for a few more months here. It is a very cute little button basket. I'm going to do it so it's like a little, I have this kind of checked fabric that I'll show you that looks basket, like a basket weave almost. And I have a green background, so I'm going to make it like it's a little picnic, I think. That's the plan, and I'm going to cut and sew as I go this time instead of cutting out all the pieces all at once. So that'll be fun. We get to sew a little bit then. I didn't get to sew it all last night, and I'm itching to sew. All right, guys, if you're new here, my name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. I'm the author of Sew and Stitch Embroidery and a fabric designer, and I'm here every night at 9:30 p.m. Central, and I'm so happy you guys are here tonight. I'm going to flip you guys around, and we'll get sewing. Hello, Arja. Thanks for coming in. Okay, let's get in focus here. So here's what we got going on tonight. It's this adorable button basket. You can see it a little bit better right here. Here's all the little pieces. There's a bias strip in this one. We haven't done anything with a bias strip in the Splendid Sampler yet, so that will be fun to make. I don't think we're going to do that tonight. We'll probably get to that tomorrow, though. So tonight, we are going to try and get this basket, inner basket done, and maybe even add the background to it. I don't think we'll get to the triangles yet tonight, but I'm hoping to get as far as I can. So this is what my plan is. I'm going to use this for the basket, the cute little basket. I just love this fabric. And this is all I have left for the whole rest of the Splendid Sampler, but I thought this would be a cute one to use it on. And then this little blue is kind of like the little fabric lining for the basket. That's this little strip G right here. Kind of like, on a cute basket where there's that little fabric lining that folds over the edge and ties tight. That's what this is going to represent, at least on mine. And my background, I thought I'd use more of this green with the gold little plus signs on it. This is all I have left of this, too. Just a little piece here. But, we're on Block 74. We're getting towards the end here, so I suppose it's time to start using up some of the fabric. But I thought this was cute. It would look like a little basket on the grass, having a picnic. So I thought that was kind of fun. There we go, kind of like that, if you can sort of imagine the little basket on the grass. All right, so let's cut out those pieces. I'm going to cut and sew as I go, and I think I will use a little starch, at least for this back piece, because this is pretty gauzy compared to these two fabrics, which are more quilting weight, a little thicker. So, all right, here are our cutting. All of this is our cutting requirements. So we need the A piece, which is our basket. All these E pieces and these F pieces will be background fabric, and this G, which was that lining. So let's cut out those. I don't know what I'm going to do for the fabric for the triangles yet. I figured we'd get this part done first, and then we can browse through the fabrics and just pick some cute little triangle outlines. And same with the bias strip, the little handle. I don't know what we're going to do for that yet either. So, all right, I'm going to get cutting. Let's start with this A piece. We need a 4.5 by 2.5 rectangle. So, you know what? I think I'm going to try Ooh, yellow floral. Oh, Marianne, that's a great idea. Oh, I love that idea. So I have a cute little yellow floral. That would be great as the corners. I'm totally going to do that. Ooh, congrats. Oh, and an honorable mention for your elephant quilt. Oh, congrats. That is so exciting. Yay, I'm so glad that you entered and wow, congrats. That's cool. So I think I'm going to just starch the green just to make it kind of feel as thick as these other two fabrics. And these other two I'm just going to give a little quick press. Yay, good. Oh, you should be. That's so exciting. How fun. A little fun extra thing to quilting is entering it and stuff. And you know, the cool thing, it's not even so much about winning, I bet, probably. It's kind of just like people get to see what you've made, you know, and that's just pretty cool. All right, 4.5 by 2.5 inch rectangle. Oh, geez, that's a lot smaller than it is in my head. Like, I always look at these blocks and I think, oh, it's going to be this cute block, but then when I cut it, like, the pieces are this tiny. It's always a surprise. I don't know why. It's not like the blocks change size on me during this. All right, 4.5 by 2.5. Let's do that. I think let's just maybe do a quick cut with this. 4.5 by 2.5. So it's only, geez, it's only this big. Oh, about 180 quilts. Wow, that sounds like a fun show. All right, I think, I wonder if I can get it out of here. I suppose it doesn't matter either way. I don't think this is 4.5 inches. Nah, we're a little short there. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cut it out right here. Let's get this fuzz out of here. All right, let's start with getting a nice edge here. And on this edge, I'm gonna kind of pay attention to where my stripes are. So I'm not, like, I don't want them like this where I accidentally angle it funny. So I am going to just kind of make sure it's sort of straight. I mean, these guys are all weird shaped, but in general, I want to just estimate enough to make them straight. Maybe like that. I think that's good. I'm kind of looking at these lines. They're kind of going up the center of all these white areas, so I think we'll be fine there. So, all right, I'm going to trim that, and then we will cut the other way. So 4.5. Okay, here's my half. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to cut this whole entire thing. All right, get that little strip off, and then 2.5. Right about there, and we'll just trim him too. All right, let's rotate that around. Okay. 4.5 by 2.5. Ah, did you hear that buzzer? That means my laundry's dry. One of the many loads of laundry for today. All right, 4.5, 2.5. Let's check for sure on the instructions. Yep, 4.5 by 2.5. Yep, all right. Like that. And all right, I think we're done with this basket piece. Well, I still have a lot left, so I can still get a few more blocks out of there. I'm happy about that. Just love this fabric. I should make sure to try and use it up, though. I don't want any left over. It'd be cool if all my fabric was kind of used up from this block. But you know, maybe I'll make a pillow or something out of my extra pieces. So, okay, what's next? We got our cute little, you know what, it's kind of fun when they have, you know, this little end piece. You can kind of lay it out like this and see what you got going on. But all right, let's cut this G piece. That's that little baskety top. We're going to do it in this fabric here. See, it's going to look so cute. All right. G is down here. So one rectangle, 1 inch by 4.5 inches. Okay, wow, 1 inch. That is so tiny. This is going to be the littlest strip. It's going to be cute, though. So we don't get a kitty, you have to, oh yeah, that's right. I know, we haven't had a kitty block out of 74 blocks, you know, catered to quilters. There has not been a cat block. It's kind of ridiculous, don't you think? You know what? That's kind of what I thought when I first saw this block today, too. I thought, oh, wow, this looks kind of difficult. I mean, definitely cute, but yeah, I had a little thing of difficulty. But you know what? Then I was reading through the instructions a little, and I realized that it's actually, I don't think, that hard, because we'll be just sewing a bunch of squares on the diagonals a little bit. So I think it's a little easier than what it looks, which is kind of fun. It's kind of neat when you have something that looks difficult but ends up being pretty easy. Okay, so what did we say? G was 1 inch by 4.5 inch. So let's do that. I'll just snip it off of one of these sides. 4 by 1. So okay, let's go this. Wait, let's go like this. 4.5 by 1 inch. All right. So here's my, oh wait, I wanted to get, there we go, one of these 1/2 inch things in here. It's easier for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1/2. All right, and then 1 inch this way. Which is barely anything. All right, let's cross it the other way. Oh, trying to watch in person. That's nice. I like when we can chat for reals. All right. Let's do 1 inch by 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Oh my gosh, this is so tiny. Tiny little piece. 1 inch is so small. In my head, it is not this small ever. And then when I see it, it's just like, wow, tiny. All right, let's get one going this way. Okay, and we're done with that fabric too. We hardly used anything of that. That's a cute, pretty blue. Okay, so there we are. We got our little basket and our little, basket top. And then we have, oops, sorry guys. Now we're gonna work on our little triangles to start shaping the cute little basket piece. So that is the E pieces and the F pieces. Let's cut both of those out. E and F. So 2 squares that are 1.5 inch and 2 squares that are 1 inch. Wow, tiny. All right, and we're gonna do that with this green fabric, which I'm gonna spray with starch because this is a little gauzier than the rest of these other fabrics here. So let's go up here. I think we'll just grab it from this edge here. We're just going to get a couple tiny little pieces. I think that's easy enough. You know what? This is a nice edge that maybe I want to preserve. Let's cut these little pieces on all these wonky little sides over here. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my spray starch. Just give that a little spritz. So again, this will make the fabric feel a little bit like it has a little bit more substance to it. Sizzle. I love that. Oh, and it smells yummy too. So I'm using Best Press, and I put a little bit of flatter spray starch into just because I like the smell. Okay, that should be plenty good. We're going to use more of this fabric later when we do the rest of the background. But right now we just need those couple tiny pieces. So let's move those. Alrighty, and my ruler jumped up here. Let's see, can we get that? That's not quite big enough, but this will be big enough for the 1 inch strips. So I need 2 of those. So I need like 2 inches by, there's a little cut in there. 2 inches by 1 inch about. So I'm just going to snip all of this off, get rid of all that scrap, and let's just rotate this around. Cut my 1 inch out of here. And then we will cross cut our 1 inch squares. Wow, it's kind of hard to see on my, oops, I moved it. Hard to see on my cutting board. My cutting board's almost the same colors as green. I don't know, that's looking pretty good. Let's do it there. All right, let's cross cut our 1 inch squares. Let me get a nice edge on it first. This nice square edge. And then I will flip it around and cross cut the 2. Tiny 1 inches. I like this ruler because the lines are pretty small and it's easier to line up stuff for me. Look how small this is. These are the smallest little bits. Okay, and this one here. Alrighty, 2 tiny pieces. Let's just move those to the side for now, and then we need 2 1.5 inch strips. So where should we get that from? Is this 1.5 inches? Not quite. So let's just cut a little piece out of here. It's got to be at least. I think did I cut this straight? No, I didn't. So let's just do what we did for the other side. We'll cut a little nice little edge off of here. So 1.5. Then we need at least 3 inches on this side. 1, 2, 3. That'll be plenty. Rotate it around. I'm ready to sew soon. Okay. And 1.5 by at least 3 inches. Let's just do it right at the 3 inch right away. Wait a second, I'm doing something wrong here. There we go. Let's rotate it all the way around here. And losing my brain a little bit. There we go. Now to 3 inches. Okay, 1.5 and 3. So cutting that in half will give us the. Would you just cut a whole straight edge down the side? Is there a reason why you don't? Just because I don't want to use up all this fabric, that's all. Do you think you'll put the strips between the blocks? Oh, when I'm done with all my blocks? I don't think so. I think I'm going to mash up my blocks next to each other, which is kind of weird. Not a lot of people like doing that because the blocks will kind of blend into each other, but I kind of like that idea. So that's my plan. Once I'm done. I counted my blocks again last night, and I'm currently 18 behind. So I have 18 partially started ones. All right, so there's our 2 1.5 inch squares. So I'm gonna move that green fabric to the side for now. So this is what we're doing next. We got our pieces that I'm gonna start out with tonight. So we are going to sew these in the corner. And you know what? I'm going to eyeball it, I think, this time. I'm not going to draw a line on there. Usually what we've been doing is drawing a pencil line from the diagonal to the diagonal and then sewing right on that line. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to just start sewing and aim for that. But what we're going to do is sew the diagonal, and then when we iron it, you know, it'll make a little triangle. And that's how we're going to start shaping our cute little basket here. So in the instructions it says to do this one first, and then we'll do the same thing on top for the top of the basket. So we're making a little curved area up here as well. And then once we're done, then we'll sew the two together. So that's the plan. So that's what we're gonna do right now. And again, I think I'm gonna try and do it without drawing a pencil line. So I am gonna get my stiletto to help me out, just to help hold things down. And you know what? I gotta thread my needle here. I was going to do I can move it over a little so you can see a little bit. Oh, we made add some 4 patches. So I undid my thread last night because I thought I was going to do some hand piecing. Oh, and I still have it in here. Let's pull that out. I'm just going to trim it. Let's get a tiny scissors out here. Trim that away. And we will rethread it. And then we'll get sewing. We'll get there yet. Ooh, wow, it's kind of tight. All right, now I'll scooch you guys back so you can see. I don't think I'm through there yet. There we go. All right, now we're set. All right, so I am just going to, like I said, I'm going to just throw these guys on here and aim from one corner to the other. So line it up at the bottom. And I'm going to go right on the diagonal. Oh, you finally got your cell back. That's nice. That's hard to go without. Go without the cell phone. All right, so whoop, just going to get my stiletto here to help guide the first few stitches. And now I'm just totally aiming. I'm going to put the stiletto there just to hold it. I'm kind of just aiming to do a straight line to that diagonal. I think that's good enough. And let's get this. I'll have to get some blacks. Oh, some are about a quarter smaller than others. Yeah, those you can put like a little mini sashing on maybe. Some of mine are a hair smaller just because, you know, I didn't do the best job with them. But I think I'm going to just err on the side of doing like a slightly smaller seam allowance, like an 1/8 inch seam allowance, and see how that goes. I'm not sure if that'll work or not, but I'm thinking I will deal with that when I get to it, if it becomes a problem. All right, again, I'm starting this side now, doing the same thing, just kind of getting it started, and then before I get too far, aiming at that diagonal. I need to get another leader in here. You know what? I had some of these scraps here now. Why don't I make another one quick? So I'm just going to take a little piece of fabric, get rid of that guy, and just fold it in half, and we'll add this to the end. All right, and we can get started on this guy right away. This one doesn't have a right or wrong side. Let's do it. Again, same thing. I'm going to start the diagonal and just aim instead of drawing. I mean, you can draw a pencil line on there with a ruler, but meh, I'm skipping it. right, got it started. There we go. Add this guy in here. No, I suppose now we have to trim it off, huh? Right, that guy's ready to iron. One more piece on this one. Okay, let's make sure that we're doing it, you know, the opposite directions. Here, right side down. All right, this one's going up this way, so this one's got to come down this way. All right. And aiming to that point again. Oop, I'm a little off. Hopefully I can correct it a little. Get this guy going again. Something's caught here. That's my problem. All right, I got some loose threads hanging out. All right, done with that for a little. All right, just trim that off. This guy's getting kind of crazy. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press all these edges this way. So it's starting our little triangles, and then we're gonna trim these off so they're so we got like a 1/4 inch seam allowance. The reason I'm not doing that first, which is kind of what your brain wants you to do, is because I'm going to use it as a guide on where to press this. So I'm going to actually match up these edges and try and press it that way. I think it's just a good guide. Okay, so let's press those and we'll see where we're at then. We'll do these little itty bitty guys first. So I'm just going to press it just flat just to kind of set the seam for a second there. And now I'm going to finger press it, again, aiming for my edges there. This is the one that I was a little not great at, so I'm stretching it a hair. Hopefully I can correct it enough. All right. And that looks good. Let's do the other side. Again, I'm just going to give it a little press to set the seam, and then finger press it. Again, I'm lining up the edges. Now this one's a little shy, but because we have those edges, I can get them kind of equal. All right, let's get a little bit more. Okay, let's do the same thing for the basket. Set the seam. Let's just set both seams at once. Then I'm going to finger press this one. Okay. We're almost done with the basket. And this might be better if I had the steam on. I don't think I even have any water in the iron right now. So, oh well. I suppose we could spray more starch on there, but I think we'll be fine. The starch is kind of our steam. Alrighty. Get them both quick. There we go. So now we just have to trim all those excess corner bits to the 1/4 inch seam allowance. You know, I'm just estimating, it doesn't have to be perfect. So like that, and like that. And you know, technically you don't really need to do this, but it does reduce bulk, so you don't have all this extra fabric in your piece. Here's the bottom of the basket. And side. Okay, and there's the top. Ah, it's so cute. All right, so now we're just going to sew these guys together, and we can move on then. All right. So I'm not going to pin or anything. I'm just going to lay the two pieces. Got a little thread in there. That's not going to hurt anything, but there we go. Line up my edges, doing the kitty scratching until they're all lined up. I mean, feel free to pin if you want, but all these pieces are so small that you almost don't need to. So this is, I'm going to sew with the scant 1/4 inch. And that's what I have my my business card here for. It's kind of marking my scant 1/4 inch, and I can butt up my fabric right against it, which makes my scant 1/4 kind of easy to do. All right, let's snip that off. Let's see if it tells me to press it open or anything. So press the seam allowance towards the A piece, which is the big piece. Okay, great. Towards the A piece. So I'm going to just put the A piece on top. Give it a little press to set the seam. Cute. All right, I think we might be able to move on to some of the background pieces yet tonight, which is fun. All right, basket's a little crooked, but that's kind of fun too. A little funny angle there. I don't know. I think it's pretty dang cute, and we'll have the little basket, the bias. Jeez, it's so small. The bias tape handle will be covering up some of these little triangles here. But here's our general shape, and now we'll be adding basically background around it to give it, some bulk. And then after that, it's just sewing triangles on. So, all right, let's keep going. So now I'm going to have to cut again, obviously, because we only cut enough for this front piece here. So sew the 1.5 inch, or did we do that? Nope, we didn't do that. So right here. So the 1.5 inch by 3 inch D rectangles to the side of the basket. Okay, we need to cut those. Then sew the 6.5 by 3 B to the top and the bottom. So, all right, easy. We're adding 2 sides and a top and a bottom. That's it. Oh, and they even show us right here. So this is what we're doing now. Sewing 2 sides on and a top and a bottom, and it looks like we're pressing towards the outside. So let's just remember that. All right, let's cut them. So D, B, and C. So I'm going to scooch the little basket out of the way, and I'll spray this whole thing down now, and we'll get our pieces out of it. So B is 3 inches by 6.5 inch, and C is 1.5 by 6.5. So we have 2 6.5s. I wonder if we have a 12 inch side on this, or a 13 inch side on this yet, because that would make things easy for us. I'm not sure this is quite, it's just shy of 13, so that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to do 2 strips that are 6.5. Oh well, that's what happens when you get down to your last bits of fabric. And then what was the other piece? These D's, which are 1.5 by 3 inches. Okay. But we could do that as one big piece. Oh, I need 2 of those. So that's actually 6. So that would be 12.5. I might have 12.5 down this side. Yeah, I think I have just 12 and a half, so good. So I'll be able to get the D pieces and the C piece in this direction, and then I'll just do the other piece some other way. So I'm going to spray down this whole thing, and just again to give it a little more thickness so it mimics the rest of the fabric a little bit better, and to get the creases out of there too. All right, let's do that. Sizzle. This is also drying it out, the iron. Okay, let's do the long piece here. We'll cut our 1.5 inch. It's gonna be so cute. Move all this stuff out of the way. Okay, let's look at it again. We need a 1.5 inch strip, and then I will cross cut it to all the pieces that we need. So first, let's get a good edge out of this. This one's a little frayed right now. Okay, out of here, piece, and 1.5 inches. Again, it's a little difficult on this cutting board. All the colors look the same. All right, that looks good. 1.5 inches. This is the 2 ruler method, so I don't have to move my fabric, rotate my fabric around. Okay, let's cut those strips first. So I need two 3-inch pieces and 1 6.5. Let's try and get the 6.5 out first. First, we need a nice edge on here. So I'm going to have just enough fabric here, so I want to get as close to that edge as I can. Okay, so our first cut is 6.5. Oh, that'll be easy because that's the width of this ruler. So all we have to do is line up some edges. Okay, 6.5. So that's our bottom piece, and then 2 3-inch pieces from here. Let me double check that. Yep, 2 3 inches. All right. 1 and oh my gosh, we're barely gonna have enough. Hopefully there's enough. Just enough. Ooh, wow, that did not cut. How do you keep the fabric from slipping? Like my ruler, how to keep the ruler from slipping? I have like little rubber stoppers on the bottom. They're called True Grips, I believe, True Grip slippers. That helps keep my ruler from moving, and that helps, keep the fabric from slipping and everything. Okay, so there's those 2 pieces. Now we need that one last piece. What was that? It was this big B piece. So the B piece is 3 inches by 6.5 inches. So let's scooch these out of the way so I don't accidentally cut them. 3-inch by 6.5. So we're getting pretty close over here. So again, this is This is a straight edge here, the one that we just cut. So I'm going to match that at the bottom. Again, this is the length of the ruler. So I'm just going to go right to where this angle stops right up there. And just trim that whole thing. And then 3 inches this way. Right there. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then let's flip that around. And just cut my 3 inches. And we can sew this up, and I'd say that's a pretty dang good start for the night. All right there. All right, done with this fabric. I think we're completely done with the green fabric. Awesome. All we have left for fabric is what we do for the handle and for the little corners. So we'll have to pick those out tomorrow. So first things first, we sew these guys to the center point here. And one thing we are going to have to try for is to try and get this point right here, so right through that point. However, it's not going to matter all that much because, again, we're going to have the little handle is going to cover that area, so I'm actually not going to worry about it at all. And then after we sew these two together, we'll sew the top and bottom on and call it a night. We got basically the bulk of this block done, I think. See, so it's a lot. It seemed kind of like a little difficult block, but it really wasn't too bad. Looks harder than it is, which is kind of neat. So lining up those edges, right sides together, scratching them in place where I need to. All right, that looks good. My scant quarter. In theory, I should flip this over so I can see where those points meet. But again, since those points are not gonna matter too much because I'm gonna have the bias strip on it, I'm not even gonna bother matching them. Get this guy in. All right, scissors. So I'm gonna sew the other side. See, there we go. Little point there. Sew the other side on right away before pressing. Okay, right sides together. And then just matching up the edge. All right, that looks decent enough, I'm thinking. I feel like I just messed it up. Oh, we're still good. Alrighty, and there we are. Let's give that a press, and then we're just gonna sew these tops and bottoms on, and we will be somewhere on this block, which is great. Don't need that ruler anymore. So it said to press them towards the background pieces. So again, I'm just going to give them a little set here. And we'll just do this one first. Looking cute. Oh, wow, I was way off on that corner. Whoa, like quite a bit off. I don't know what happened there. But again, I'm not going to worry. Like, see, I was way off on that point. So I must have been a hair too scant with my seam. But again, I'm going to, this might have been the one that I did not my diagonal might not have been good there. But again, the bias strip is going to cover up that area and our little buttons that we're going to put on the side. Actually, I'm actually not sure if I'm going to use buttons. I haven't used buttons anywhere else on the blocks, and I plan on using this as, you know, an everyday quilt, like on our bed. So I'm not sure if I want buttons on, but I suppose a couple here and there wouldn't matter so much. I'll have to peek. I'll look at my button bag. It's not really a bag. I have a little button stash. That'd be fun to just bring out and look through anyway. So, all right. Now let's sew the tops and bottoms onto this, and we got our little basket. So cute. We'll do the bottom first. So again, I'm not going to use pins or anything. I'm just going to kind of scratch it in place, right sides together. All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, a yo-yo, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of yo-yos, so that might be a fun way to go. Alright, I'm attempting to sew in a straight line, which, I don't know, for some reason doesn't always seem to be the easiest thing for me. Alright, this guy underneath. Yeah, when we made the yo-yo, I think the yo-yo for the squirrel was the first, the squirrel block was the first yo-yo I think I'd made, and it was really fun. You just pull up all the strings and it just turns out perfect. It's kind of a neat thing. It'd be fun to, you know, do one of those old traditional quilts that are completely made of yo-yos. That would just be kind of funny. All right, this is a little curved, this piece, so I'm gonna go a little less on here and I'm gonna line it up with this middle piece, which seems a little straighter, and I will just be a little scant on both the other sides. Like they'll be like a little less than the 1/4 inch, but I think we're gonna be okay. Alright, almost there. Alright, done with that. Let's snip. I can tell I'm a little hair off, but that's going to be fine. Alright. She has a king-size yo-yo quilt. Holy cow. How fun. That just seems like it'd be a fun, like, travel project or something. To do, like, just a ton of yo-yos. Nice hand project. So, alright, let's just set this seam here first. And again, we're pressing towards the outside. And let's flip around and do this. I think this is pretty good progress for the night. It's kind of only the fun little details now on this. Oh, thanks! Yeah, I want it to be kind of like a little picnic basket on a little grass patch. So that's why the green in the background. So I'm definitely think I'm going to do those cute little flowers in the corners. I think that would just fit perfectly with this block. That was a good call. Oh, when she RV'd. Oh, funny. It's super heavy? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I suppose because it's several layers of fabric, I suppose. All right, so next, we'll start this tomorrow, but we'll do these little triangles. That'll be pretty fun. And that's the exact same thing that we did here, just squares that we flip, and then another square that we flip. So it looks difficult with these little itty-bitty lines, but really it's going to be so easy. It's going to be just like how we did these corners. So again, easier than it looks, which is awesome. Okay, so we will make sure to do these 4 triangles, and I don't know, we might even get this bias strip done too. We'll have to make a bias strip. I'm not quite sure how I want to do that yet, because I don't want to waste a lot of fabric. We'll see. We'll figure that out. But here we are for tonight. Got our little basket started. So, all right, guys, I'm going to flip you around, and we will pick this up again tomorrow. Hey, so here we go. Little basket. It's going to be so cute once we get that bias strip on. And the technique that's used for it is cool. I've never done it before, where you sew the one side of the bias strip, then flip it up, and then sew it on. I think it's going to be kind of a neat little deal. And then we'll have to pick buttons, but we'll probably do that on probably on Saturday. Basket sitting on the lawn, exactly. So, all right, guys, this will go up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies tonight. So it'll be available to see, tomorrow morning once it's done loading. And I will be here tomorrow to continue this guy. So thanks again for coming in. Well, thanks for sharing your time with me too. I appreciate it. So, all right, I will catch you tomorrow, guys. Good night.